people have been talking about various different accounts, and there are so many different accounts out there, but one in particular has been trending, very hard lately, and it actually has a lot of great benefits for people to, consider, as one of the places to have their money. And you all talked about this recently too on your channel as well too. So for someone who's never heard of the Fidelity Cash Management Account, can you break that down for us and kind of break down, the benefits of having that type of account? We'll start with Nicole.
Okay, thanks. So the the Fidelity Cash Management Account, I like to call it a hybrid account. So they advertise it as a place for you to put your money where you can hold it, spend it, and also grow it. And how do they achieve that, right? They achieve it by you placing money into the account. They're giving you a higher interest rate for you holding that money in the account. But on the other side, they're giving you a debit card. There's no fees associated with it. There's no minimum balance associated with it. So that means you can actually use it as a checking account because you also have check writing abilities too. They give you free checks and they have no fees when it comes to ATM. So they reimburse you for any ATM fees that you might incur by not using ATM that's Fidelity because there's no Fidelity ATMs. So you have the benefit of being a checking account and you can use bill pay as well. So it's a checking account and a savings account. Now, what makes this good too is that it's also an investment account. So they are able, you can choose when you actually get this cash management account to do two things. You can either put it in what they call a sweep account, which is basically a bank account where you could just save the money and it's FDIC insured through their program banks, or you can use the other half, which is their money market account, where it's an investment account where you can put it into that investment account where it's just, sitting there gaining interest because they're investing your money in very safe securities, which is government securities. So you have an investment account, a savings account, and a checking account all in one with no fees, no minimums, and it's very convenient for you. So I think it's a great account.
Wow. And Nadia, what are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, look, the rates that they're paying on it on their sweep account is probably like 1.5%. It's around there. So
Mhm.
it's going to pay more than what the traditional brick and mortar banks are. And the other one that Nicole was talking about, their money market account, is paying about 3.3, right? The thing is with this, they're going to pay you higher than a regular checking account because most checking accounts you don't get any interest payments on. But what it also does, if you are hesitant about where you're going to invest your money, or you have some cash sitting in your brokerage account, it allows you to make some interest on and get paid interest on that account because it's better for you to have your money sitting in your brokerage account and then you're able to buy what you want quickly rather than waiting for that money to come over from another bank and then buy your investments, right? So while your money is sitting there, you can grow it with some interest, but you also have the flexibility to use it to buy something. So that's what I like about it. There are places that might be paying more, but this gives you that extra flexibility because you don't have to wait for that money to come over from your other bank before you start investing.
That's great. That's great. And that leads me to my next question because, right, there's a lot of different accounts that are out there, even though, like, obviously this one is trending and such. The thing about it is that the reason why I think a lot of people don't make the move or consider just having their money in different accounts in general is simply because they're not used to it. They're used to having that brick and mortar bank. So, an account like this, are people able to use this like a normal bank account? Like, for example, can they have direct deposit set up? Can they have a
Yep.
debit card? Can they have bill pay and checks? Is everything about the same with that?
Yeah, everything's the same with this one.
Now, the
Got it.
only
Okay.
difference is that you can't deposit cash. That's it.
Got you. Okay.
Okay, so you
Can't
have to have
deposit cash.
another account set up, or if you get checks, they get mobile deposit with the checks. You can do that, but you cannot deposit cash directly in the account, and you're not going to walk into a Fidelity bank to do that. So those are the only limitations.
Yeah. When you say cash, Nicole, it means you can't physically go take cash to a Fidelity branch and say, "Hey, put this in my account." You can move
Yep.
it any other way, and yeah, you can get direct deposit from your job, have your paycheck directly
And you
deposit
can
into
also
that
pay
account.
bills out of it as well.
Yep.
Got you. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, outside of that one small piece, it could easily work out, just like any other, checking account that people are used to. So now let's kind of walk through, let's say, the journey then. So for example, when someone, let's say if they have direct deposit and their money actually, hits that account, what happens to that money that you're saying is a little bit different than a traditional brick and mortar checking account?
Okay, so with that, when you set up this cash management account, you're going to make a decision. Either you're going to go into that sweep account, which I mentioned is like a regular bank, right? And you're not going to get very much interest, or you make the decision to go into the money market account. All right. If you make the decision to go into the money market account, you're going to have an investment account, which is they're going to be money managers in the background investing very safe securities, like I said, short term treasuries, and even repurchase agreements, which you don't need to know. It's like overnight agreements, very safe securities, and they're able to pay you interest. But that money is very liquid, which means you can take that money in and out all you want. Okay. So all you have to do is make a decision when you put that money in, which account it's going to be. After that, it's basically like a wallet. You can still take the money out whenever you want. You can move the money to, say, your investment account quickly and easily if you want. But other than that, it's really nothing to really worry about. When it comes to the sweep account, this is a good account if you don't know what you want to do and you don't want to be in a money market account, because at the end of the day, a money market account is an investment account, so it's not insured. You could technically lose money in that account, but it very rarely happens because of the way money market accounts is set up.
Mhm.
On the other end, if you are afraid of that sweep account is where you want to be, because that's FDIC insured. That means that whatever money you put in there, up to 250,000, the government will pay you back if something was to happen. That right there is okay. So other than that, you can just use it as if you would any other bank account.
Now, Nicole, correct me if I'm wrong. With this account, you can have over 250,000 in that sweep account, because what they do at the end of the night, they'll split that money up across like multiple banks, right? And in a normal bank account, no matter if you have, say you have 5 accounts at one bank, you're still under that $250,000 limit, right? So if anything happens, you're only insured up to 250,000. But I think in this account, I think it might be a couple
It's
of
5
million.
million. Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep it in there, and then at the end of the night, they'll split that 5 million up across partner banks to make sure you're under that $250,000 limit. Okay, so that's one thing. I know a lot of people sit on cash in their bank accounts and they might have over 250,000. This one allows you to kind of be FDIC insured, because at the end of the night, they're splitting it across different banks to keep you under those limits in those banks.
Got it. Got it. Wow. See? And you know what's crazy is that, in my opinion, sometimes you can learn more from, professionals like you all, or just like, a YouTube video, than people that actually work, for
Oh
the
yeah.
company, the way we break this stuff down. Okay. Now, I do have a question. Is there a difference between, because I've heard of course, the sweep account, but now people have also been talking about some SPAXX account. Is that the same account or no?
That's the money market account. So that's the name. So SPAXX that's the money market account ticker symbol, right?
Got it.
And what they're doing is investing in the treasuries, the overnight repurchase agreements. That's what that is. So that's
Got
one of
it.
the accounts you get to pick when you open up your cash management account.
Yeah, like I said, the sweep account, which is similar to a regular bank account, that's the one paying about 1.5%, right? That's the one you can compare to a 0.01% that Chase would be charging you. And the sweep account is the one that's paying more in the threes. So consider that closer to a high yield savings account. But at the end of the day, your money's sitting there, so you can invest it quickly if you needed to, instead of waiting for your money to come from your other bank and then putting it into your brokerage account to invest.
Wow. Okay, good to know. Now, and then I'll start with you, Nadia. In your opinion, why do you think Fidelity is able to even give a higher interest rate than, let's say, a traditional brick and mortar bank, in your opinion?
Well, I have my opinions on this, so I will say it. It's not that Fidelity is able to do it more than a traditional bank and brick and mortar. Those brick and mortar banks can do it, right? Maybe not every brick and mortar, because you have to pay some. It requires some maintenance to have all these brick and mortar locations, so their overhead costs are going to be higher. But these banks are loaning out money at like 6.5%, 7%, so they all can afford to pay you more interest. But one of the things with Fidelity, when more people are starting to invest and more people are going into banking and online banking and trying to do more self-directed stuff, which means managing their money themselves, it's very competitive, right? So at one point they dropped the fees, and a lot of those retail brokers dropped the fees. So now you're competing on that space. But now if you offer a different product, now you're bringing in people who are high savers or potentially savers. Well, they're going to be savers because they're looking for a higher interest on their money. But how much money are those people bringing in? So that could be another select group of people that you're bringing in, and they are higher net worth individuals or people that just have more cash sitting around. So you have more cash sitting around, that allows Fidelity to do more with it also. but it also allows them to try to sell them other products to those people. Because once you open an account and you say you put a large number in there, you're going to get a Fidelity representative to speak to you to see if you want to buy other products. Do you want them to start managing your accounts? Do you want them to start helping you invest? So I think that's one of the incentives they're doing. Hey, let's pay you higher. And now we get a new group of people who are savers who may not have invested before. Now we can start introducing them to our products. So they're not doing this out of generosity of their heart. They're doing it because it's another subset of clients they can get.
No, I was saying that's a smart move by them for sure. That for sure. And then of course, Nicole, do you have anything to add to that?
No, I totally agree with Nadia. It's a way, maybe it could be a loss for them on those fees, but they're going to
On the
make it
front
up
end.
on the back end. It's a way to capture market. And at the end of the day, what's great is that us, the consumer, gets to benefit from it.
100%. And that's how it should be, to be honest with you. That's how it should be for sure. All right. If you're looking to increase your credit score, qualify for homeownership, or lower your monthly car payment, we can help you. We can take a look at your credit report and create a custom game plan for you to help you accomplish your credit goals. Scan this QR code or click the link in the description below. Now back to the video. So now I have noticed though, and I think it's because of, I don't want to use the word ignorance because that sounds so bad, but lack of knowledge sounds so much better.
Okay.
And I think it's more so because of lack of knowledge where people, they'll hear things like that are so much more traditional: bank account, savings account. But when someone hears the word like brokerage account, they automatically start thinking like stocks or risk or things of that sort. So in your opinion, we'll go ahead and start off with Nicole. A lot of people hear that, but then they get nervous. Is their money invested in the stock market in any way just with that particular account? Because I know that's separate from them having the actual brokerage account with Fidelity, correct?
Yeah. So it's not invested in the stock market, right? So, and when people say brokerage account, I've met a lot of people who have decided to open up a brokerage account, but then they don't take the second step, which is to invest in the stock market. So because of that, if you have a brokerage account and you're not taking that second step to invest in the stock market, you're just using that brokerage account as a bank account, and you're only going to get what you're probably getting on a sweep account. You see? So don't be scared with the term brokerage account. Just use it if you want. This cash management account, like I said, the only portion that might be up for the little bit of risk, and it's probably the most conservative investments that you can get out there, is the SPAXX, which is their money market account. But you're not investing in any single stock companies. You're not investing in any funds except for the money market fund, which is just government securities. So it's not the same thing, but it is housed in a brokerage company. Fidelity is a brokerage company, and they do have the ability to open up an investment account for you and you can start investing there, which a lot of people have their retirement accounts, their 401ks, their job 401ks or IRAs are already at Fidelity. So it actually makes it more convenient if you want to open up another account with Fidelity so that you can start investing on your own. So it should not be seen as a negative, but yeah, your money is not at risk by putting it in the cash management account. And you can definitely make it sure it's not at risk by choosing the sweep account option.
Yeah.
I had a quick statement there.
Yeah.
I want to let people know we don't work for Fidelity, right? Our job is to tell people there's these things out there. But I want people to understand the same people who are nervous about their money being invested in the stock market. What do you think these banks are doing every night with your money? They are investing them in the stock market and then giving you pennies on the dollars or whatever they're making. So because you're scared, guess what? Every bank and every brokerage account, they're investing your money in the stock market in these money market kinds of securities, and then they're paying you the interest. That's how they pay you the interest. The interest doesn't come from anywhere. They're paying you part of what they make overnight with your money. So the same money you're scared to invest in the stock market with, these banks are investing overnight and making the money. So cut out the middleman and learn how to do this yourself. And if you're too scared to do it yourself, go to a higher interest bearing account so you at least capture more, 0.1% on your money.
Real quick, be sure to download our free ebook today. All you got to do is scan this QR code right here or click the link in the description below. Now back to the video.
Nadia, she let the secret out about banks. Like, how do you think banks are able to give you interest on your money at all? You're lending that money, that bank your money, and on the back end, they're making the deals and trades, and then they're paying you pennies on the dollar. So Nadia is right with that.
100%. No, listen, again, and this is why we have to have these types of conversations. Because it gets people thinking like, man, how are banks able to do what they're able to do. And at the end of the day, you're thinking it's something special when in reality, again, it's just moving everybody's money around. And your money is a part of that. So again, another great explanation, for people to understand it better. Okay. So now let's say, for example, we obviously know this could be a great replacement or, another option for people for, a checking account. Okay. But outside of that, let's say, for example, is there a way where people may say, you know what, this would be good for checkings and savings? So Nadia, what do you think about that? Is this something that can replace both of those?
It could, because you can use it to write checks, but if you're looking for it to make savings, you just understand how much you want to put away for savings every month and then decide what portion of that you want to start investing, right? So you can use it as savings too. And also, I think it captures your dividend payments too. So you can see what they're accumulating in that account. So you don't have to touch all the money in an account, but you have the ability to write checks too.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to savings, some people could use it as a way to save their emergency savings, right? Because you can separate that money from where you normally use your day-to-day spending.
True.
Because if everything is in one pot, you're very easily to spend it. But if you say right away, because you can do direct deposit, and you can also say, I want to transfer this amount of money on a consistent basis. If you want to save money in another account that's not in your line of sight, that you can see it and you spend it, then you can use this as a savings account because you are getting over 3%. Now, would I say it's better than a high yield savings account at that point? No, not really. But if you want the option to then, after you hit your emergency savings, to continue saving for a longer term period, then it makes it easier because then you can just put it right into an investment account.
Absolutely, because the money's already there. It's an easier
Yep.
situation for sure. Yeah, great idea. Love that. Love that. And so obviously we've been talking about, the pros about having this type of account. And guys, again, we do not work for Fidelity. This is just, again, one of those great options to consider. But next time we bring the wealth trends back, and then, by the way, let us know if you all want us to bring them back. We'll most definitely talk about other ways that you guys should be, growing your money, as well. We're not done yet. Just want to make sure we're clear on that. All right. But we talked about the pros about this. So now, and I'll go ahead and start with Nicole on this one. So now, what are some, I would say, not necessarily disadvantages, but what are some downsides of having your money in a Fidelity Cash Management account?
I mean, I think the only one really is the fact that you can't deposit cash, like actual greenbacks, into there. Two, that you could get a higher yield on some high yield savings account if your goal is to get the most yield by keeping your money in one place. There are high yielding savings accounts that you can do that actually at online banks, not really brick and mortar banks are not giving you that. And I think also having a regular relationship with the brick and mortar bank might make it easier for you to get a loan from that bank. So those are the only disadvantages I would say that I can see off the top of my head because other than that, I don't see that much negatives for this account. I'm sorry.
And then Nadia, anything to add to that?
I guess the only other negative I would add is that people think they open up this account and they're actually investing, and you're not. Okay. It's just like just because it's Fidelity, consider it like a bank account. I want you to understand once that money is in there, you have to do something with it to consider yourself investing. So that's the only other downside.